Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to an excited Wrestling Days because I have got an epic video for you. This has taken ages to pull all this information together, but I'm so glad that I did because this is a video very close to my heart. My favourite superstar ever is The Undertaker. It is the Deadman. And there's big rumours that he is coming back for this year's WrestleMania in a match against John Cena. That will be just incredible. Incredible. I really hope it happens. But it got me thinking about all the previous Undertaker WrestleMania matches and the streak and everything like that. And I thought to myself, have Mattel made a figure for every Undertaker WrestleMania appearance? That sentence literally made no sense. But, like, you know, is there an Undertaker figure for WrestleMania 7? Is there an Undertaker figure for WrestleMania 8? Is there an Undertaker figure for WrestleMania 9? Is there an Undertaker figure for WrestleMania 10? No, there isn't. He wasn't there. Blah, blah, blah. But you get the idea. So I've gone back. I've looked at every WrestleMania that The Undertaker appeared at, and I've tried to find a figure that Mattel has made for each one, and we've got pretty close, but there is definitely a few that are missing. So sit back, relax. This is not going to be a quick video, but hopefully it will be a very informative video. So here we go. So let's start things off. WrestleMania 7. The first victim of the streak is the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. And the figure for this is the WrestleMania Heritage Elite. This is a very important figure because back in the early WrestleManias, WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 8, WrestleMania 9, you know, wrestlers weren't really changing their attire that often. This is kind of before merchandising and things like that. You know, they weren't really pushing the t-shirts as much as they do today. They weren't really trying to sell as many figures as they are today. So really now, this is where wrestlers are changing their look all the time. Another new shirt, another new figure, but they didn't do it back then. And so that WrestleMania Heritage figure is very important because it kind of covers the first 3 Undertaker WrestleMania appearances quite easily. But there is a big omission with it, and it's the tie. That figure does come with the gloves, does come with the grey boot coverings, but doesn't come with that black and grey tie. So that is really frustrating. There are some other Undertaker figures in that attire that you can get though. So you could go for the then, now, forever basic. This is a basic though. It doesn't have the articulation of the Elite, and it doesn't have the tie still. But it is a basic. It is a little bit more in line with what he fought in, and also comes with that urn. The other figure that you could go for is the entrance grate. This does have the tie, but a lot of people don't like the cloth fabric jackets. They prefer the kind of rubber jackets. I'm kind of torn on this. Really, it's figure by figure as to do I like the look of it or don't I like the look of it. And I've got to be honest, not 100% sold on that entrance grate figure. I do think it's a great figure, but I just think I prefer the rubber jackets on The Undertaker for some reason. So those figures cover WrestleMania 7 when he took on Jimmy Superfly Snuka, WrestleMania 8 when he took on Jake the Snake Roberts, and WrestleMania 9 when he took on the giant Gonzalez. At WrestleMania 10 there was no Undertaker match. That brings us to WrestleMania 11, and at this point The Undertaker's streak is 4-0 because he beats King Kong Bundy. And this actually, you'll see, is the first kind of real change to his attire. Now he's wearing like purple gloves, purple boot coverings, purple tie, and you can get a Summerslam heritage figure that captures that. At WrestleMania 12, he takes on Diesel, and again, he's still got that purple attire. At this point, if you wanted to, you could go for Elite 23. So this is an Elite Undertaker figure in that purple attire. And it also comes with a mask, because it was around this time he actually broke his orbital bone, and so he needed a mask as protection. So that is a very, very good figure, Elite 23. They actually re-released it. I think there was a few changes, but they re-released it as part of the Lost Legends series in 2016. You can still find those figures on the shelves if you are lucky. At WrestleMania 13, the streak now is getting to 6-0 as The Undertaker defeated Psycho Sid. This was a massive moment because he wins the WWE Championship. I think this is only the second time he wins it. The first time he'd only been champion for 6 days, and really he'd only won it because of Ric Flair interfering. This is The Undertaker reaching the mountaintop on his own, and it is a big moment. This match against Psycho Sid is awesome, and what is great is that to kind of really hammer home how special this was, he went back to wearing the grey gloves, the grey tie, the grey boot coverings. He was going back to his roots. By this point, he was starting to move into the Lord of Darkness stage, so he was moving past the purple stage, but he went back to basics. He went back to his debut attire. So for this, that original WrestleMania heritage figure will do the job. At WrestleMania 14, he took on Kane for the first time. This is where the streak goes 7-0, and there is no figure for this. This is probably the biggest omission. This is the biggest opportunity that Mattel have got to put a new figure into the line. There is no WrestleMania 14 Undertaker. It's very similar, though, to WrestleMania 15, so you could always use the defining moments figure, because at WrestleMania 15, The Undertaker took on the Big Boss Man. That took the streak to 8-0, and these are really iconic figures because this is a defining moments Undertaker. It's also a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Undertaker as well. Both of them very similar to his attire at WrestleMania 14. Not quite the same. They are WrestleMania 15 figures, but great detail on those figures. Comes with like a cloak, facial hair, the hair tied back. Very, very cool. Those figures are going to stand out in your collection. Next up, we had WrestleMania 16, or WrestleMania 2000 as it was known, and there was no Undertaker appearance again. But at WrestleMania 17, we got Undertaker versus Triple H for the first time, and that is where the streak went 9-0. Amazingly, you're going to have to pick up the recently released Undertaker WrestleMania 33 figure. This is Undertaker in his attire from WrestleMania 17. I don't feel that it really captures his American badass vibe. Really, this needed to be an elite to capture that. So I do think they can still do a better Undertaker for WrestleMania 17, but it's not bad all the same. Next up, WrestleMania 18. Ric Flair was the victim here. The streak goes 10-0. There's no official figure, but Elite 18 is not a bad shout for this. At WrestleMania 19, we've got a handicap match. Undertaker goes up against A-Train and Big Show. 2-on-1. Again, no official figure, but the recently released Elite 55 is fine for this because the actual pattern on his trousers is exactly the same. It's only really the entrance top, maybe the bandana colour, that's just a little out, but this is of that era and it does the job. So Elite 55 is what you need for that. WrestleMania 20 now, and the streak goes to 12-0. This is against Kane. No figure here, but Elite Series 1 is fine for this. He goes back, he moves away from the American Badass gimmick, goes back to a Deadman gimmick again, but there's no grey colouring or purple colouring, so Elite Series 1 will do the job. At WrestleMania 21, he takes on the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. You can get a WrestleMania Heritage Basic or Basic 16. This is slightly different colour trousers. It's not quite black. They're more like, they look grey with a hint of green in there. But that is the figure for WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 22, the streak now at 14-0 as Mark Henry becomes the next victim. The Build a Paul Bearer WrestleMania Basic is the figure for that WrestleMania. The demon logo on the side is exactly the same. That is the figure for that. Next up, WrestleMania 23, Undertaker versus Batista. Undertaker winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Battle Pack 6 is close, but not perfectly accurate. But that is a battle pack where you get the Undertaker, you get Batista. The attire is close, but I don't think it's absolutely on the button. It's really weird as well to see those old battle packs and see how they used to pose the figures, because you've got Batista. I don't know if he's doing like a drop kick or what he's actually going for, or if Undertaker's pushing him away. But it's just weird to see them displaying the figures in that way. Next up, WrestleMania 24, and we've got Undertaker versus Edge. And you can get a WrestleMania Heritage Basic if you want to recreate that match. At WrestleMania 25, we have arguably the greatest WWE match of all time. The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. The streak at this point is 17-0 after this. Basic Series 3 is what you need. Basic Series 3, it's an old figure, it's going to be a hard figure to find, but that is the Undertaker's attire for WrestleMania 25. WrestleMania 26, the rematch against Shawn Michaels. This was streak versus career, and Undertaker wins 18-0. You need the Toys R Us exclusive 18-0 figure. He comes with a shirt saying 18-0, which I don't think he ever wore. You can also get Elite Series 14. Stunning facial expression on there. Great figure. But yeah, those will capture the career versus streak match. Next, we got WrestleMania 27 against Triple H. And there is a Toys R Us exclusive again. And WrestleMania 28, the rematch against Triple H. This is the third Triple H Undertaker WrestleMania match. The streak at this point is 20-0. And there is a 20-0 Toys R Us exclusive Elite. Very, very smart. Interestingly though, no robe. His spiked robe is really iconic, really stands out at this point. Interesting hair, does come with some accessories, but the lack of a robe is an issue. Thankfully, they correct that. WrestleMania 29, the streak is 21-0 as Undertaker defeats CM Punk. Elite Series 27 comes with the spike robe, separate hood, pretty standard figure, but looks great. I think these Toys R Us exclusives and this Elite 27 really capture the Deadman's WrestleMania looks. If you want to talk about special though, WrestleMania 30, the end of the streak. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. There is a figure for this. It's another Toys R Us exclusive. And you can see that it's got a lot of red highlights on the attire. Entrance jacket and hat. Really cool figure. I mean, like, the figure itself is pretty standard, but it's got the shaved head. And yeah, it's iconic. This is what he was wearing when the streak ended. Arguably the most shocking moment in wrestling history. Undertaker gets back on track though. WrestleMania 31 takes on Bray Wyatt, and you need the WrestleMania 32 branded Elite. That was brought out for WrestleMania 32, but it is Undertaker's WrestleMania 31 attire. WrestleMania 32, taking on Shane McMahon. You need basic 71 for this because he had studs going down the side of his trousers, and basic 71 recreates that. And then the final figure, WrestleMania 33, sadly his second defeat to the hands of Roman Reigns. You need the recently released Battle Pack WrestleMania 34. You get the Undertaker figure, you get the Roman figure. You can perfectly recreate that match. And so the Deadman, I believe, is 23-2 on the grandest stage of them all. So as you can see, not every single Undertaker attire has had a figure released, but there's a few basics in there that are kind of slipped through, and you might just think it's another normal Undertaker figure when it's not. It's actually one of his WrestleMania attires. There's quite a few Toys R Us exclusive figures as well that you'll need to get. There's a few kind of WrestleMania heritage figures. There's a few elites in the normal line. There's a nice mixture, actually, a really nice range. So I hope you found this video informative, interesting. Let me know which one of those is your favourite in the comments below. And hopefully we get many more Undertaker figures to come. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit the subscribe, all of that good stuff. And hopefully, I see you again next time. Bye for now.